20th century August Wilson's fences with 15th century Shakespeare, but you can tell me what Bonquisha did when she brought $5 to the store and there were 5 apples that she could buy.
What?
If she could understand the question that way, or he could understand it.
I'm sorry, I did not want to pause this soon, but I respectfully disagree with you.
Admissions should be colorblind.
Yeah, I don't believe like race should be added, because sometimes like it's more than just like black and white. Asians even get affected too. Like places like Harvard and stuff, they might have like so many like Asian people in there where they're like, oh, let's just try to like lower that, and then they actually are at a disadvantage at a whole bunch of like higher education institutions. So I feel like it shouldn't be race. It should just be like your skills and qualification, your background. If your name happens to like, you know, indicate it or whatever like that, then, you know, it's like up to the school, whatever. But like for the most part, I think it's just qualifications and stuff like that. Race shouldn't be a thing.
I mean, education, whoever is the most qualified based on the criteria, who did the work and who passed the tests and the screenings, let them in. Everybody else fall by the wayside. You apply for somewhere else.
I would have to say that I disagree respectfully. And why I say that is there's cultural biases in testing, right?
So here's what they're talking about. They're talking about, is diversity hiring racist? And the first topic is, should college admissions consider race, or shouldn't they consider race? Mind you, this is a very diverse panel, and I mean diverse in thought. A few of them believe that colleges should consider race. A few of them believe that colleges should not consider race. Let me know what you guys think about that. And without further ado, let's get into it.
You disagree with?
Right. So when it comes to taking the SATs or other college preparatory standardized to who? I have Black students that may not understand on a question, give me a juxtaposition between 20th century August Wilson's fences with 15th century Shakespeare, but you can tell me what Bonquisha did when she brought $5 to the store and there were 5 apples that she could buy.
What?
If she could understand the question that way, or he could understand it.
I'm sorry, I did not want to pause this soon, but I respectfully disagree with you. Bonquisha went to the store with $5. And you're comparing that to a statement that says, give me a juxtaposition between the 20th and the 15th century. Here's the problem that I have with this statement. We do understand that there are thousands of colleges in the United States. Thousands. And when we talk about considering race, they're really referring to these top institutions where a lot of students do get admitted primarily, I'm not going to say primarily, but loosely because of their skin color. And that has already been proven wrong or proven illegal or proven to be discrimination by the Supreme Court. So this is already getting to the point where it's illegal. Nonetheless, if a student has a harder time understanding standardized tests like the SAT or the ACT, they don't need to go to a college where these tests are primarily used, like Harvard, MIT, Stanford. They should not be there. And that's okay. It's okay to say that. But trying to call an entire race of students dumb or standardized to other races and not to Black people is not only insulting, but it just doesn't even help this argument at all.
Then they could then get into the colleges.
It's your institution, bro. Whatever you want to do, you want to do it. And if I can find a way in, then I can find a way in. If not, don't let me in somewhere where I'm not wanted. Because then I'm not going to be comfortable there. And I may finish there, but it's like, bro, I'm not going back there. I was not wanted there. And that's just coming from somebody who's been in spaces where I wasn't wanted,
that's real.
Right. Even in my own community, even in my own historical Black college, being in spaces where I wasn't, it was like, damn, I'm not wanted here. But let me get this education, let me get this experience, and then I'll do it.
There's going to be more support at the HBCUs if you're failing.
Who told you that?
It's my experience. And
that's your experience. That's not my experience.
And my friends and all of I work with Black colleges as well.
Right. We don't all have the same
And I'm not saying you have that
yeah.
experience,
Right.
but it's not the only experience. But anyways, go ahead.
Right.
I would love to say something after, because you went to an HBCU in North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. I went to University of North Carolina, which is a PWI. Ideally, Yes, everybody should be able to hire whoever they want. Corporations should be able to say or not say whatever they want, ideally, but we exist in a society where politics and race and all of these things affect things. I know people who went to my college who are not, the highest GPA, who don't have the best SAT score, et cetera, but their sisters went there, their mom went there. That is something that is included in admissions, legacy. And there's lots of things that go into the decision of letting someone into a college or not. So I think that's another thing we look at is like, oh, race shouldn't be included. But a lot of other things are included. So why aren't we including race? Frat boys party 4 years and then do really nothing, get their piece of paper, and then they go out in the world and they call as many of their members, their former members that they know, and they get ahead. They get somewhere that they need to be going. It's because obviously back in the day, like colleges were only for white people and only let white people in. These institutions have a certain level of prestige. They have a name. You say, oh, I went to Harvard. Oh, that means something. It does. It can't not. It's got a reputation. So yes, it is nice to go in spaces where you're wanted. If that's what you want, that's good. But also there is a level of playing the game and getting that prestige for yourself because other people are going to get it either way.
Well, I'm not less.
So before we go too deep, I want to respond to this. He said that nepotism happens a lot in college admissions, which it objectively does. Nepotism does happen a lot, meaning if you are a legacy, that's what they call it, you do naturally have a higher chance to get into a lot of Ivy Leagues, such as Harvard, Stanford, even though Stanford's technically not Ivy, UPenn or Brown. You do technically have a higher chance, but there's a reason for that. Usually if you're a legacy, you're a part of something called the alumni program, and in these alumni programs you donate monthly to these schools. So let's say I go to a school and I'm in the alumni program, I will probably donate $400 or $500 a month to this institution, and by the time I have a child 20 years later, I've given tens of thousands of dollars possibly to this institution. I've given years of my life to this institution. Basically, I put in money and sweat equity into this institution. So if I have a child, if the school admits my child, not only is there a high likelihood that my child will go to your institution, there's a high likelihood that my child will do the same thing I've done, which is given into this alumni program. So what am I saying? It's a very safe investment if you admit a student who has a legacy. Whether I agree with it or not, I'm not saying if I agree, I'm just saying from a business perspective, it's an extremely safe investment. And at the end of the day, these schools are trying to make money. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they admit these students. But if you look at a lot of schools that lower their test scores and lower their grading standards for students, and they happen to be from one race, that is literally and objectively a bad investment because a lot of these students cannot handle the rigor at the institution. They have higher dropout rates than other students there who did take the standardized test because, as we all know, standardized tests exist for a reason. If your kid is not smart enough, because yes, if they're not smart enough to get a high score on this test, they do not belong at that school. And they probably will drop out, which is happening. So I don't understand why why they're not seeing this, but let's continue.
Prepared. Can I just say this? So I'm not less prepared. Let me say this. I'm not less prepared to face the system because
I don't think having
can I just-
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say what I have to say. I'm not less prepared because I went to historical Black college and university, so I'm not ready for the real world. In fact, it's the opposite. Because I was prepped by people that looked like me, that were educated, that understood the struggle, that helped my fight inside of me to deal once I got into the corporate spaces, especially in the C-suites. Being Black and being proud and being unapologetic does not mean that I'm anti-white and that I'm not able to ingratiate in those spaces. Go for it.
I don't know if you knew this about me already, but I don't identify as a person of color.
You are of color.
You knew that already?
you are
No,
of
I couldn't
color.
tell.
You knew that?
You are of color, though.
Yes, it's true. I do identify as white.
You're not translucent. I mean,
That's true. I'm not a ghost. But
I don't believe in race, so.
but one of the things that really I find so intriguing about this conversation is right now we're in a state that's that's plurality Hispanic, and we haven't once brought the point of Hispanic students. But let's focus back to higher education. So if we want to talk about what should California's higher education system look like, should we defavor Asian American students who are around 15% of California in order to have more Hispanic students? So my question, I don't think this has been brought up yet, is what should we do about college admissions in California?
I mean, college today, we have to consider technology, okay? The way things are 10, 15 years ago, it's not like that anymore. So you have to change with the times. And a lot of people don't want to do that. So in this day and age, as I said, if you're not in the STEMs, how is college serving you if you're trying to actually be successful in this real world? If you talk to actually college students, I talk to them all the time, they're broke, they're stressed, and the reality is the degree doesn't mean anything today.
Looking for a
job. In fact, they're looking for a job, and job, it stands for just over broke. So the point is they actually need to be looking to build an actual real lifestyle based upon the lifestyle they want to live. I should say career based upon the lifestyle they want to live. College and the school system doesn't plan you that way. Because they're trying to get you caught up in a matrix of actually just working for somebody, whether it's a white collar job, blue collar. You mentioned the trades. The trades is a great way to master a skill and then actually start a business off that skill. I've seen people do that.
And I feel like that's like why Hispanics and stuff, like, they don't really go to school like that. If you notice, like, they're entrepreneurs, they're hustlers, like, they are beasts, like, body shops, everything, like, they are them. So it's like, okay, if they want to go to school and stuff, obviously they're smart enough, like a whole bunch of people.
But you are going to school. You have a phone. This is a phone. This is a teaching tool. This is it. This is your school. This right here is worth billions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. This is it. That's all you need.
Depending on how you want to build your life, like you said.
Correct.
Right?
See, that's the thing, and that's why we have to take it out further. You got to go back to in fact, you should start in kindergarten. What's the life you want to live? Race doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
It does. Results. It's all about results.
And I love that he said that. It's all about results. I love that statement. And the reason I love that statement is because I want to draw it back to his initial point. He brought up the fact that unless you're going into STEM, school does not matter. And I'm going to say right now that is fundamentally not true. Because if you guys don't know, STEM is not even the highest paying field to get into. It's banking. Financial banking is the highest field to get into. So the reason I brought that up is because you can't really get it too deep into financial banking unless you go to school or unless you just have crazy connections. So I'm not going to say he's wrong, but I will say this. Take everything you hear right now with a grain of salt, because as it stands today, people with college degrees literally objectively make more than people without it. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because you have to factor in debt as well. So the biggest problem that I have with colleges is the debt to income ratio. One thing that he said, which is true, or he alluded to it being true, is that when you go to school, you have to take on $40,000, $50,000 worth of debt per year. And if you aren't guaranteed some type of income, even if you make more money, you're still making less money. But although that is the case, the fact still stands, net worths are higher if you go to school. But nonetheless, about the school, going to school or not going to school, the fundamental floor of what I'm saying is this. You need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. And you can have a plan on the phone. You can have a plan at a school. So whether you go to school or don't go to school or do this, don't do that, have a plan. And a lot of people don't have a plan now.
I don't care about your race. I don't care about your religion. Can you deliver the results? If not, you're done. You don't need any DEI. Why? If you can do it, boom, you can go get it done. If you can't do that, guess what? Shit, you're done. That's it.
If race doesn't matter, why is Trump trying to abolish DEI?
Good question. Can I answer that? Okay, I don't want to say this, but I have to say it.
Please.
Okay, he has to do things, because he's very transactional, based upon his constituents who paying him and his supporters. So some of the things, for example, we just found out that Jeffrey Epstein, there's no book. Now we know that there's a book. He came out and said there's no book, there's no blog. Why are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? But the point is that he has to say that because he took money from one of the biggest billionaires. I think her name is Adelson. She's a billionaire magnate who is part of the Jewish community. And so I'll just say that he has to say certain things, right? Because you have to support those who are, and that's the politics. People don't want to talk politics. So he's playing the political of sides that's
So you're saying he's not against DEI?
I'm saying, I don't know because I don't know Trump personally. I'm saying he may not be. I don't know. He may be doing it based upon who's in his pockets or what agenda he's trying to go to.
So when he
Trump is very openly against DEI. This guy is wrong. Trump has said he is anti-DEI. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know, but I'm about 95% sure that I'm right here. Or at least his policies are anti-DEI.
I don't know, though. I want to make sure I don't know. I can't say
When he says black job, what do you feel about that?
When he says who?
When he says, what's your black job? What does that mean to you when he
I
says
don't
that?
know what that means. I haven't heard him say that. I don't watch TV, so I don't know.
So politics is like a joke. You got to figure out what joke you're going to laugh at or which one going to make you cry.
Okay. What is the black job? Can you tell me what that is? I don't know.
I'm going to have you look it up. It's going to be your homework. I'm a teacher.
I will look it up.
Yeah.
She's being very condescending, and I think she's doing that because she thinks he's uneducated. She thinks that he's not smart. When Donald Trump said black jobs, what he said or what he meant was, I'm not going to speak exactly what he meant, but what I heard was, and I'm going to answer this question, is jobs that are predominantly done by the black culture. That's what a black job is. Jobs predominantly done by this subset of people. That's what it means. I think she's trying to allude to that statement being a racist statement, saying that we aren't able to do other jobs. And I think that line of logic is just ignorance. Because if you were just being, a fair individual, you wouldn't think that that statement is just outwardly racist. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think. My name is LFR Jojo. And I'll see you